everyone, it's Missy, and today I want to make some gluten-free Special K bars. And I was so excited when I saw that there's actually a gluten-free Special K finally at my local grocery store. This is a little bit different because the flakes are harder, or they don't get as soggy as the regular Special K, but they do taste really good. So what you're going to need is an 8x8 or a 9x9 pan to put the bars in. And I'm just using this metal pan. You can use glass too. A mixing spoon. I like to use a rubber scraper to make sure that I get all my bowls scraped out. I'm also going to be using a small pot so we can cook the mixture over the stove. I have half a cup of white syrup. I'm using corn syrup. Half a cup of sugar. 2/3 cup creamy peanut butter, and then the 3 cups of the gluten-free Special K. And then for the frosting for the bars, I'm just using 1 cup of gluten-free chocolate chips. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is pour the white syrup into the pot, taking my rubber scraper and of course getting as much of that out of my measuring cup as possible. And then to the corn syrup, I'm also going to be adding the sugar. And this mixture is going to just be heated on the stove. I'm going to heat it on high heat to get it going faster, but it's just, you want to heat the mixture so that way it's not going to boil, but you want to get it so that way the sugar is completely dissolved into the syrup, so you're making an extra sugary syrup. And then you also want to make sure that it's smooth, so when we mix in the other ingredients we don't get lumps of sugar. But I'm just making sure that I keep stirring it because this mixture can burn very easily. So do not walk away from the stove on this one to answer the phone. Just keep stirring. If you have it on high heat, it should only take you a couple minutes. It does take some arm strength to get it going, but once it's smooth and liquefied, it's going to look like this. So now we can add in the peanut butter. You want to add in the peanut butter while the mixture is still warm because it's really easy to blend the peanut butter into the mixture that way. If your mixture does start cooling down a bit, you could put it over the stove, but I would recommend putting it on a very low heat because again, you don't want to have the peanut butter separate from the syrup. You do want it to be completely combined and smooth. But it's pretty straightforward. Once you get the peanut butter all mixed in, and you can tell in there swirls of syrup, and once it's all combined, it should be ready to be mixed in with the Special K. So I just grabbed an extra mixing bowl because my pot wasn't big enough to put the Special K in there. So I'm just pouring the peanut butter mixture over top. And it's so nice and gooey, and it looks very good, delicious. But I take a rubber scraper at this point and I just fold the mixture together. You want to get as many of the cereal flakes coated as possible because the peanut butter mixture is the glue that holds your bar together. And also you want to get that nice sugary taste in and around your bars too. But if you just keep folding it, just kind of like stirring underneath and just keep trying to get as much of the flakes covered, you will be ready to put it into your pan. And I forgot to mention at the beginning, you can just double this recipe if you want it to be for a 9x13 pan, but I'm using an 8x8. So the mixture looks like it's coming together well, so I am ready to put it in the pan by this point. And I just take that same rubber scraper and I'm going to be pressing it. I'm going to try to get as even a layer as possible and get the mixture spread into the corners of the pan. You really want to make sure that you firmly press this mixture into the pan. If you don't, your bar will crumble when you're trying to eat it and it makes a mess. So I always try to get the mixture as firmly pressed as possible. And I'll actually take my finger like you see right there and push on top of the rubber spatula just to make sure that everything is nice and firmly packed. And then I'll also take the scraper and just kind of go around the edges to make sure that I don't have any flakes sticking up on the sides like you see in the video. And then once I get everything as firmly pressed as I can and smoothed out so it's nice and flat, I will put the frosting on, and the frosting again is just those melted chocolate chips. So I put those in the microwave for a minute on high, stirred, and then I did 30-second intervals on high until it's nice and smooth for spreading. And this is another thing that you kind of have to work quickly on, is pouring the mixture over the bars and smoothing out the chocolate across the top, because the chocolate will start cooling, and when it cools it turns firm, and if it's firm you can't spread it. And unfortunately I'm using a metal pan, so I can't like pop the metal pan into the microwave to reheat the chocolate mixture. A glass one you probably could, but it generally will take about an hour or two for the chocolate to actually cool completely at room temperature. To speed it up, I like to pop the bars into the refrigerator after I spread the chocolate, so they look like that. And then after it's cooled, you're ready to dig in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Give me a thumbs up if you like my video. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Bye.